In May 2022, the 8th International Z or Z Gauge weekend took place in Altenbeken, and they celebrated 50 years of Mini Club. The Z or Z Gauge remains a fascinating one. Z or Z Gauge is the best you can do in model railroading, in my opinion. For me, Z Gauge and 50 years Mini Club is something very special because I'm almost as old as Z Gauge, that is nearly 50 years old. And I was able to follow how the Z Gauge has developed throughout my entire life. A cool gauge. You can convey a lot in small space. I've heard wonderful stories here. For example, people taking their trains in their suitcases on business trips and letting them take a spin in the hotel room in the evening to relax. Great. The community behind this is truly international, as we see here. That's also unique in the world. It's a very special honor for us that Märklin has a really representative booth here with us. The fulfillment of my life. For the first time I have completely finished the layout after 4 years. And when it's ready, you can enjoy it. Top-class showpieces, such as the Era 2 layout Wiesenthal by Wilfried Pflugbeil, attracted attention and earned plenty of encouragement. On each layout, the love for detail was recognizable, and the high art of design, no matter which season, was made the theme. Raffaele Piccolo from Italy was also there again, with eye-catchers in the smallest of spaces. Manfred Forst showed a small model railway world with a rural theme. You could see a pig farm where the animals can enjoy fresh air and sun. Very idyllic. But there is another way. Sea rescue operation on a scale of 1 to 220. A highly dramatic scene, created by Günther Falkus and Hermann Kammler. And there was also cause for alarm at the Viennese Z regular stable because of the visitors from outer space. A factory can also be fascinating. Before I start a train formation, I like to do research. The same goes for the chemical plant. I actually read chemistry books, technical chemistry, so don't get everything wrong. And I hope that when I'm at an exhibition in Ludwigshafen with my chemical plant, for example, the chemical workers will come and say, yes, that's right, or someone suggests, such as today, hey, the safety grids on the ladders are still missing. My response? They have already been ordered, but I don't have them there yet. But the lack of such small details should hardly diminish the pleasure of viewing this showpiece. By the way, the current Vectron model from Märklin can also be seen here. In addition to the factory facilities, Claudius Veit has also designed the office building to be truly realistic. Realism also applies to Carl Zinn's masterfully landscaped plants. In such landscapes, you can take a walk and admire the railroad art buildings, because even on closer inspection, it's hard to believe that this is Z or Z gauge. The replica of a Belgian station is also impressive. At the Märklin booth, the milestones of Z or Z gauge development were commemorated, and offered a lot of inspiration with a sophisticated display layout. Parade horses from the Z gauge assortment were showcased here as well. A worthy appearance that was coronated by a festive dinner to which Märklin had invited exhibitors and Z fans.
50 Jahre Z, 50 Jahre Mini Club.
50 years of Z, 50 years of Mini Club is of course a cause for celebration. I experienced it today for the first time. What a great event this Z or Z gauge weekend was. Very informal and modest, because the Spur Z world is not so big, but all the more passionate. We are happy about that and appreciate it very much. Here's to what comes next. Very nice. We wish the Z or Z gauge all the best for the future and see you again at the next International Z Gauge Weekend in Altenbeken. At the Pentecost Festival of the Preßnitztalbahn on June 5th and 6th, 2022, in addition to the Club Zone 4K, the 1925-built MH53 of the Rügen Narrow Gauge Railway was also used.
Ja, die Preßnitztalbahn ist eine Museumsbahn, die beruht auf einer Schmalspurbahn.
The Preßnitztalbahn is a museum railroad. It is based on a narrow gauge railway that was built over 125 years ago from Wolkenstein to Jöstadt and was completely demolished in the last years of the GDR. Then the guys, they were also called the crazy people of Jöstadt, rebuilt the 8.5 kilometers to Steinbach. And they keep going. Now they are rebuilding the train station in Jöstadt. As of last year, it is possible to drive into the station again.
In den Bahnhof wieder reinfahren.
LGB presented new models in the vehicle hall. The Fichtelbergbahn is among the most important and interesting summer novelties. It is around 20 kilometers from here in Oberwiesenthal. There is a big celebration there on 2nd of August, 125 years of Fichtelbergbahn, which is certainly worth seeing. LGB will also be represented there. Charming steam train ambience was also offered in Steinbach around the widely known Waterhouse. There are idyllic stops along the route. The Saxon 1K was also in service with a Saxon train. It is worthwhile to take a break from the train ride and hike the surrounding countryside. But nothing beats the steam train experience, visually as well as acoustically. This is also true on a scale of 1 to 22.5.
Unsere Anlagen als solches sind Unikate. Das ist das Besondere an unseren Anlagen.
Our layouts are one of a kind. That is what makes them so special. We are thus able to adapt to the organizer and realize the specified dimensions, such as the L shape here on this layout. The basic theme we have here is 750 mm narrow gauge from Saxony.
750 mm. Sächsisch.
This bridge serves not only as an ornament. Real water was brought in here as a design element. Most definitely a tricky thing.
We
make a framework of boards on edge with appropriate corners so that they do not fall over. Then put a pond liner, water comes in, plus a normal pump, and that's it.
Und dann läuft das.
It's actually a pity that this beautiful layout had to be dismantled again right after the Pentecost Festival. Back to the big track. Operating the Rügen train with the MH53 was quite an attraction. To sum up the last 2 days, it was good to bring in another train to transport all the people, given the larger number of visitors. And it is also a special highlight to finally experience this locomotive not in the lowlands, but here in the mountains. Several thousand guests took advantage of the steam trains, but there was also great interest in the model train exhibition. I think you have to look at it from two sides. For us, it is important that the model train manufacturers see what vehicles are available and gather new ideas when they come to such events. But the other way around, it's also important for us that when there are new models, people buy them, get a desire for more, and then hopefully visit us. Fancy some more, my dear Mario? It was all planned, of course. Fancy some more, and then the two of them come along. Fancy some more. Third, fourth, fifth, all right. That's why we say congratulations to Mario Böhme, a good friend of ours, top guy, and an absolutely successful party. Congratulations.
Top Typ und ein absolut gelungenes Fest. Gratuliere.
We thank you for being here and enriching the festival with your appearance, your booth and your presentation. We thank you. Hats off to you. I think Pentecost 22 is definitely in the same league as the Pentecost festivals before Corona. And I think we're up in attendance now too. Now it's your turn. You also want to do a festival. Right, on 16th and 17th September this year, we will have our open house in Göppingen. I would like to cordially invite you all to this event. We will open the plant from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and show in the departments how a locomotive is made from design to completion. But we will also dedicate ourselves to the anniversary 50 years of Mini Club, the Z Gauge. There will be a special exhibition on this, and those who have not yet seen the Märklineum are also cordially invited there. And the 4K, which is just behind us, can certainly also be seen on a small scale, namely on our LGB garden railway layout, which will certainly be finished by then. The name is revealing. Yes, we are in Switzerland, or more precisely on the Rhaetian Railway. As you may know, the railroads in the Swiss are celebrating a big anniversary in 2022. 175 years ago, the first train ran there, and that was from Baden to Zurich. For this reason, festivities are being held in all regions. Eastern Switzerland is no exception. It wasn't just the good old steam train that delighted the visitors who came in large numbers to Landkart to take a look behind the scenes of the Rhaetian Railway. The RHB not only delights with historic trains, it is also becoming more modern. All new Capricorns are given names during a christening ceremony. The Rhaetian Railway gets a new train every 4 weeks, and not just any train, but a 4-car Capricorn, an Ibex. This is the largest rolling stock procurement in the history of the Rhaetian Railway. This will give the RHB a new look. Operations are also being optimized. Keyword: offshoot trains. Thanks to automatic coupling, this is now possible. Train separation at stations, for example in Klosters, is quick, and the individual trains then continue to different stations. As befits the occasion, the christened vehicle is doused with some bubbly. New trains often have to go through a teething period. The Capricorn too? Putting the train into service is going extremely well. Not only the passengers are happy about it, but also the locomotive engineers and train conductors are very happy with the new train. This is not surprising, considering how old the rolling stock is that is being replaced by the new trains. A special event is already casting its shadow. Yes, we want to run the world's longest passenger train over the attractive UNESCO World Heritage route, the Albula line. Because we've been thinking, if we're already doing the Rhaetian Railway's largest rolling stock procurement, why not get a large number of these trains? We intend to string together 25 trains and run them on this line. And why not choose these trains to show the magnificence of the engineering feats that took place over 100 years ago when the Albula Railway was built? The goal is that you can really see these trains on several levels, because the whole train is a lot longer than the tunnels, including the helical tunnels. In doing so, people will be able to experience this line as it has never been experienced before. The event will take place on 29th of October 2022. This is not only the reason why LGB is working flat out on the new model of the Capricorn. They already had a first sample with them.
Es war mir sehr wichtig, dass wir auf das heutige Event einen ersten Musterzug.
It was very important to me that we get a first sample train from molded parts for today's event, so that we can also show here that there are still a few minor corrections to be made. But I think that we might be able to get the first trains out for an upcoming event. My goal is that we can actually deliver the train by the spring. Renato Fasciati had a little surprise waiting for him. As a permanent loan, a crocodile of his choice from the series of high-end models will find a new home in Grisons. He chose the unusually painted 415, which he was happy to present for the photo album. LGB presented not only the Capricorn, but also a beautiful locomotive for the first time. This is the GE441, colloquially also called Bobo 1 in a reconstructed form, which is sometimes somewhat disrespectfully called the Austrian cake form at the RHB. It no longer had the typical round fronts with 3 windows, but a straight front, slightly slanted in the upper part with 2 windows. A certain similarity to the 1141 cannot be denied.
Das war also ein ganz massiver Kundenwunsch.
A lot of customers asked for this. We already have the locomotive in green with the round front, as it was in use for a long time until the 1980s. It was modernized to make the driver's cab a bit longer, because it was a bit cramped, especially for tall drivers.
The
electrics were also redone, and a reversing train control system was installed. So we decided to present this loco in the model as well. We have it with panto propulsion, with single-arm pantographs, with DCC MFX sound decoder, with various light and sound functions, as you already know from this locomotive family. Of course, we have also lots of freight cars, including the new sliding wall car in the summer novelties, so you can help yourself to an array of things.
Wo man sich also reichhaltig bedienen kann.
No, this is not the fireworks that are offered for the first anniversary of the Märklineum. Rather, we are at the half-O show layout. What catches the eye most is, of course, the model train show. We now have a completely different lighting. You can only see the layout, and in the back we have a big video projection on our screen, as it should be with day-night change, so every 10 minutes we change from day to night mode. Lights go on, lights go off. Everything just like in real life. State-of-the-art technology, such as that used in large theaters, is used here to deliver a spectacle that is truly worth seeing. And when the moon then sets, the bright daylight of the new morning is already setting in. There has also been a lot of activity in the outdoor area in front of the Märklineum. The LGB layout is now also quite far, let's say almost finished. You can see a lot now, the 3 areas with America, Germany, Switzerland. It's landscaped, the lakes are in there, so a lot has been done. So it's a pleasure to watch the trains which are busy making their rounds. It makes you want to build your own LGB garden railroad. Those who had seen enough trains were treated to musical performances by violinist Gustavo Strauss, which was only fitting for the joyous occasion. The mood was relaxed. The mild summer evening delighted the invited guests, who gathered for good conversation and then listened to the speeches by the Märklin CEO.
Wir feiern mit dem ersten Geburtstag.
We are now finally celebrating the official opening of our Märklineum with its first birthday. The opening already took place on June 18th, 2021. Unfortunately, that celebration could only take place on a very small scale due to the pandemic.
Es war von Anfang an wirklich eine Herzensangelegenheit.
From the very beginning, it was really a matter of the heart for me and my family, and also for my colleague Mr. Bächle and the Märklin staff, who were all behind it and welcomed the fact that we wanted to do something here. And I think the recognition and support from outside that we wanted to make a difference was very great and helped. The enthusiasm for the brand and the company has also helped us to stand in front of this great building today. Märklin and Göppingen belong together, which the mayor appreciates. We have many companies that we are all very proud of, that are important, world market leaders, but none carries such a legend as Märklin. And to this day, when you come to a Märklin railroad and you played with it as a child, you hear the sounds and perceive the smells. You feel transported back to your own childhood. Not many brands can give you something that beautiful. Märklin can do that. In my opinion, anyone who didn't play with Märklin as a child didn't fully experience a real childhood. How right he is. Life without an electric train is simply unimaginable, isn't it? On 2 floors there's a lot to discover, an exciting journey through time, which is enriched every now and then by new elements. We do not change things out all the time, but every now and then we do replace something in the showcases. We will run the Z or Z gauge exhibition through this year, maybe until the beginning of next year, but then we'll definitely have a special theme again for the next 6 to 9 months. DJ Sabine Seide still provided pleasant music in the evening, ending the time with great inspiration for everyone.